Senate negotiators reaching a deal on COVID aid yesterday, with Democrats dropping an attempt to include global vaccination funds. Joining us right now is Dr. Scott Gottlieb, the former FDA commissioner and a CNBC contributor. He also serves on the boards of both Pfizer and Illumina. And Dr. Gottlieb, these funds are I think, less than half than what the president was originally asking for, but he has signed off on this compromise deal. What's in it? Is it enough?
Well, it was all they were going to get, and so I think that's why the White House is signing off on it. It's about $5 billion to purchase and develop COVID treatments, and about $750 million to develop vaccines against new variants. It's enough money to take us into the fall to continue the purchases of the therapeutics, both the orally available therapeutics as well as monoclonal antibodies, and boost the population in the fall. It doesn't really provide a lot of money beyond that. So I think we are going to have to think about how we transition these markets over to normal commercial markets. That was an inevitability. Eventually, the government was going to get out of the business of procuring COVID therapeutics and vaccines and distributing them. I think most people figured we'd get through one more cycle with this. I think Congress is signaling with this measure that they want the administration to start transitioning those markets sooner. And so past this fall, we really need to start thinking about that. That's going to require the FDA to fully authorize these products. It's hard to procure them in the commercial market if they're not fully authorized and still under an emergency use authorization. And as you know, some of the therapeutics are, as well as some of the vaccines for some of the age groups.
You know, there's a test in the doctor's office that my son had a few weeks ago that is a single swab. It's tests for COVID and for the flu at the same time. Why is that not on the market? I mean, that seems like a really good product, because when you have these symptoms, you don't know which it is.
Yeah, these are in development right now. I think we're going to see tests like that come onto the market, as well as at-home tests become available. What's going to need to happen first is that the COVID therapeutics that have been pushed to the market, which are currently under most of them are currently under an emergency use authorization, are going to need to be converted to a full approval. And then what the manufacturers of those tests are going to do is piggyback on those full approvals to then get subsequent approvals of tests for things like RSV and flu, because you're going to want multiple tests on the market for other respiratory pathogens so you can differentiate what people have, including the at-home tests. But that's going to be very hard for these manufacturers to do while their platforms for the COVID bug are still under an EUA, because
so
they need to piggyback on those approvals.
Does the FDA realize the importance here, and are they up to the task?
Well, look, I think there's probably not a full awareness inside the agency of the commercial and the political implications here. The fact that that these products exist under an EUA is going to create more obstacles as Congress pulls back. But I think that awareness is going to build. I'm sure the administration right now is working on a plan of how they transition these markets to more normal markets, more normal procurement, and allow more of these products to be procured in the commercial marketplace and not just be procured and distributed by the government. They're going to need that plan, because this is clearly a signal from Congress that it's going to be hard to get continued money for the distribution of these products. I'm going to need to rely on the private market, including private insurers and Medicare, to put in coverage for these things.